It's officially the second major of the season, so I would like to welcome you to Going for the Green. I'm Brad Thomas here with Denny Carter, and we're here to give you our best bets and DFS plays for the PGA Championship. Denny, we're playing at Valhalla, Jack Nicklaus designed course, long, lean, and mean. Any initial thoughts to what to expect or what kind of golfer we should be targeting this week?
I mean, we talked a little bit before the show about the profile of the golfer who wins here, and they are bombers. And it
Yes.
is as simple as that. And I think we're going to highlight a lot of bombers in this segment here. It's really hard to envision a guy with average or below average distance off the tee winning here, or even finishing high in top 10, top 15. We have to kind of focus on that at the cost of other factors. Unfortunately, I don't love it. I like a course that challenges every part of the game, doesn't just see who can bomb it the furthest, but that's what we have. That's what we're going to go with.
Yeah, to piggyback on that, I kind of feel it segments the good golfers and the bad golfers, right? If you have high club head speed, ball speed,
Right.
and you're a bomber, you're generally a better golfer because that's how golf is designed. You hit it further, you're going to have closer approaches to the green. I want to pull two quotes before I get into the first golfer that I like, because I thought these were really important and really telling for this tournament. So JT said, you just hit a driver really far and really straight. You hit your irons well, and that seems to be the theme here. Max Homa said you need to drive the ball well and hit your mid to long irons really good. It feels like the new stock of a PGA Championship. You said that, right? Like all the PGA Championship courses have pretty much been this bombers course, or guys who just hit it really long and great with their long irons. So I'm going to go with the guy, Mr. Jon Rahm, as my top bet. Might be more price driven than anything. I feel like Jon Rahm went to LIV, and then we forgot Jon Rahm exists, at least in the betting market. And why I say that is because had this been last year, Jon Rahm's price would have been closer to 12-1, maybe 8-1. Yes, it did help that Rory McIlroy won back-to-back events and Scottie Scheffler was playing insane. So both of them driving the price down, bringing Rahm's price up. But I cannot deny Jon Rahm. Jon Rahm, major champion. He's really long off the tee. He's not playing bad golf on LIV either, right? Like you think about his LIV events, he's got a couple of top 10s, top 3s, a lot of top 5s, and we know it's LIV, but let's be honest, LIV is really top heavy. People want to give it flack for its early days of bad golfers going to play because they couldn't cut it on the PGA Tour. Those days are done. Cam Smith, Jon Rahm, Bryson DeChambeau. These are major champions playing on LIV who are still playing at the top of their game. Also, I want to add one more tidbit. Jon Rahm, coming off a really bad Masters performance, we very rarely see him play really poorly in back-to-back majors. Do you have any love for the Spaniard here?
The length checks out, and you can't cross him off your list for DFS purposes. He's the third highest priced golfer in this field on DraftKings. I have him projected for much lower rostership than Scottie Scheffler and Rory McIlroy, the only two golfers who are above him. I do think he could kind of get lost in the weeds after his poor Masters showing, and that's when you pounced generally in DFS tournaments.
Yeah, I like that. I'm going to be honest. I haven't done this yet since we've been doing going for the green. I do not like your top selection. He's actually on my fades list.
Yeah.
So just tell me what I'm doing wrong, why I don't like Will Zalatoris, and what you like about him.
Yeah, no, and I get it. This is somewhat based on rostership percentage.
Okay.
I'm guessing Zalatoris will be very low rostered here. He missed the cut at the Zurich Classic. He lost strokes in nearly every category at the Wells Fargo event, and I'm here to tell you, you got to play him this week. No, you don't have to, but I am. I'm going to play him more than the field. No one has played long courses better than Zalatoris over the past 3 seasons. He's top 20 in driving accuracy, not so much in distance. He's not super long. I know we just said bombers course and whatnot. I don't think that he can contend to win this thing, but I think that the course fits his game when it's good. Okay. He puts it in play. He plays tough courses well. And he said that. He said, look, I don't like birdie fests. I like grind fests. Okay. I like to get in there. I like to get dirty. I like to have to chip up and down, get up and down for par. I don't want everything to be a birdie or an eagle. And that's what you're going to, Will, hey, that's what you have here, buddy. Okay. This is it. So you're going to have to get that grind game going. I think he can do it. And again, we're talking about very, very low rostership because obviously he's played terribly lately.
Yeah, that's kind of the difference, right? Between betting and playing DFS.
Right.
You want to find those diamonds in the rough. And for me, from a betting perspective, I have to trust my model because I'm either winning my bet or I'm not winning my
Yes,
bet. Will
exactly.
Zalatoris can go out there and play like he played at the Players Championship and missing the cut, or he can play like he played at Arnold Palmer. And I use those two courses because those are two hard, difficult courses, and that's pretty much what we'll see this week. I want to get into another guy, and it seems like LIV might be the theme for me on this show. I'm going with Brooks Koepka to win. And I will be completely honest, I got Brooks Koepka at 20-1. And then when we were sending in our notes to the producer, he was at 15-1. Well, good news. He's back up to 18-1 wherever you shop your lines. Good, better shop lines. It's an important nugget I want to throw out there. But Brooks, coming off a win in his last start, what was that? 3 golfers in the field coming off wins in their last start, and that being Scotty Scheffler, Rory McIlroy, and Brooks Koepka. We talked about it looked like Brooks was kind of gaining a little momentum heading into the Masters, and then he went before that. He played horrible at LIV Miami, but then he went and played at LIV Golf Tournament at the Grange, T9, and then won LIV Singapore. But what I'm really excited about LIV Singapore, what he did, well, he killed it on approach. That's back-to-back events where he was just dynamite with his irons. We know he's long off the tee. And then when we look at his stat profile, one thing we want to say about Brooks is his putting was the one that was kind of bothering him the most. Well, he gained a whopping 4 strokes to the field putting in his win at LIV Singapore. We know Brooks gets up for majors. We know Brooks has that dog in him to just play these really long, lean, mean, fast courses. So at this price, I feel like it's almost better than betting most of the guys around him. It's kind of hard to argue when you have the defending champion or a past major winner, and you want to compare his price to a guy like Xander Schauffele, who just sat there and watched Rory McIlroy try to set a course record, and he put up 0 fight in their last event at Quail Hollow. Yeah, give me Brooks Koepka.
Yeah, Xander. We're looking into where the dog is in Xander. We're not sure. But yeah, I mean, look, hey, Brooks is going to be trying this week. This is what we know. We can't bank on that every week. On LIV Tour, he's going to be trying. He's going to be working hard. Here, let me read you just real quick his last 5 rounds on LIV Tour. He shot 66, 66, 66, and then 64, and then 67. So we are talking about a guy who's coming in here with great form. He's 10,800 on DraftKings. No reason to fade him there.
Yeah. There's a guy on your list in Mr. Tyrrell Hatton who I really, really, really wanted to bet. If I didn't have, I bet 5 golfers to win outright. If 4 of them weren't LIV golfers, I probably would have bet him as well. I feel like he's another guy who can fit the mode of this golf course, but in a different way. And I don't want to take your points, but I wanted to highlight this. At this golf course, if you hit the ball far enough, I think it makes it easier if you miss the fairway. And why I say that is because there's a big difference of hitting a 4-iron out of thick rough than hitting maybe a gap wedge or even as long as a 7-iron out of the thick rough.
That's right. And that's what Hatton has going for him here. He's sneaky long, and much longer than I thought when I looked into the metrics. He was 3rd place at the Masters, top 10 in strokes gained among all pro golfers on all pro tours since the start of 2024. I know that's a large universe and includes some kind of iffy names, but he has played well. He played well on the PGA Tour, and then when he defected to LIV, he has continued to play well. He's 1st in total driving in this field, and total driving means it's a combination of accuracy off the tee and distance. Okay, so you kind of get a good picture into how good a guy is off the tee. Hatton is great. He's great with his long irons. Good club head speed. I know that sounds a little wonky, but it is something that I'm paying attention to. So he comes, good form, 8,200 on DraftKings. I do think that we are going to see some rostership there. Okay, like he's in a spot in the pricing where I think people are going to flock to him a little bit. So be careful. Watch for rostership percentages as into Wednesday and then into Wednesday night. Be careful, but I do really like the way he fits this course.
Yeah, give me a little bit of shares on Tyrrell Hatton this week. I'm going to talk about Mr. Dean Burmester as my long shot. So to win the tournament, he's like 150-1, and I don't know if he quite has the entire bag to win it. And I was scratching my head because in confusion, I want to talk myself into maybe placing a little small bet on him to win outright. But the top 20 price is what what is blowing my mind. 4-1, right? You can put a small bet on that and still return pretty big yield. Dean Burmester, long off the tee and playing really, really good golf. Like, when we look at these stat profiles and we look at these metrics, whenever there's positive signs in almost every single category, you want to go see what their price is for markets like top 40, top 20 outright. Because if those are big numbers, more times out of 10, you're going to actually cash. And furthermore, he has 2 wins on the DP World Tour and Joburg and the South African Open Championship. He also won LIV Golf Miami, which was one of the better LIV tournament finishes we've seen in quite some time. His approach number is great. Off the tee number is great. And guess what? Dean Burmester has always done this. He's putt well. At least he's done this year, which is more important than anything. I know this is going to be a really tough task for him to win the tournament. But there's always those guys, those really long guys off the tee who no one really thinks about. They're not actually in contention, but yet you see them finish T10, T14 at the end of a major. And I think Burmester can be one of those guys.
I'm with you. I think the Burmester kind of gets lost in the shuffle of LIV Tour because, like you mentioned a few minutes ago, you have so many superstars on LIV, right? And Dean Burmester, not a household name is what I'm saying. But he is crazy long off the tee. If you look at his stats before he defected to LIV, always among the top in driving distance, in carrying the ball off the tee, and in club head speed. And so that's what you're looking for here. You're looking for a guy who's, like you said, going to have a gap wedge into the green when other guys are hitting 8-iron. And I think that's what you have with Burmester. Will his accuracy issues off the tee, wreak havoc? Possibly. But I do think in DFS he makes sense because guess what? Nobody is playing Burmester.
No, nobody. Let's talk about another non-household name, a long guy off the tee that you like, and Chris Gotterup.
Yeah, sometimes I outsmart myself, in trying to find the perfect golfer for the right course and the right week and all this stuff. And I'm poring over metrics and spreadsheets. I'm up to my eyeballs. And then the tournament starts and the guys who have been playing well continue to play well. And I say, Denny, I should have simply played the guys who are playing well. And that's what you have with Chris Gotterup here. Tied for 11th at the Zurich Classic, 24th at Byron Nelson event. He won last week at the Myrtle Beach Classic at 125 miles an hour. He has the highest club head speed on the PGA Tour. I know I keep coming back to that, but I do think it's important here. He's 7th in driving distance, not super accurate. But here's the thing that really kind of brought it home for me is that over the past 16 rounds, he's 7th in strokes gained around the green. So if he's, having trouble hitting the green in regulation, he can get up and down. He's the kind of guy who can save par. And that gives me confidence that he can make the cut and he can be a solid DFS option who, again, we're talking about very minimal. I'm guessing sub 5% rostership in DraftKings tournaments.
Yeah, absolutely believe it. I made a little faux pas there, a little error. There are 4 golfers coming off wins in their last starts with Gotterup there. If you look at his stat profile, there's one thing that I really like about him. His green in regulation to the field, 44th in the field. It's green, which means it's good. It's better than more than half the field. Hit fairways or hit it long and hit the green and hope for a 2-putt because here, like last week, par can be your friend on a lot of holes. Denny, I'm going to put you on the spot before we go. Yeah. And I just want to ask you one question because I don't think I've got this from you. Who is going to win the PGA Championship this year?
I mean, how do you not say Scotty Scheffler? It's just that if he had some sort of weakness that I could point to, I would say, well, this will probably, he'll probably come up short because of this. But he's great around the greens. He's great on the greens right now. Okay, right now. He's a machine from tee to green. I can't poke a hole in it. I'll go with Scotty.
Yeah, Scotty's got to be the overwhelming favorite. I'm going to go with Rory McIlroy, but I cannot play that price for a guy to win 3 straight events. But that's all I have to say about that. Denny, as always, this has been fun. I am Brad Thomas. This is Denny Carter. Make sure you check out NBCSports.com for more help with your wagers. Thanks for tuning in to Going for the Green. Take care.